Just try to do it without it. Yes, just need to move it a little bit this way. Yes. Now it's
okay?
yes. I think so. Wait a moment. Yes. Seems like it's perfect. Yes, the whole presentation is there. Okay, we're on time. Okay. I just hope that doesn't.
I will control the phone.
Yeah, just hope it doesn't, doesn't fall down.
Oh yeah.
What's the target?
You are on time.
Okay, perfect. So let me first check. Perfect. So, buenos días amigos. Es un honor estar aquí. My name is Talia Ayala, or you can just call me Ted. And I come from the Czech Republic, from Prague, from the Department of Marketing, Communications and PR at the Charles University. And also I'm a very proud new member of ISMA and ESMA. And today's presentation will be about the practical takeaways from the largest per capita spinal deformity campaign led by a late diagnosed marketing student living with chronic back pain. So the campaign has been officially supported by Sherman Disease Fund, by Ministry of Health of the Czech Republic, and the Ministry of Health of Slovakia, among many other medical organizations, for which we are very thankful. So there will be two parts. The first one will be introduction and data, and the second one will be practical takeaways for all of you to use in your communication. So let me first start with my own story. I was between the years of 12 to 24 years old. I was misdiagnosed 8 times with spinal deformity, Sherman's kyphosis, until it was too late. Until I basically had to self-diagnose. There was a period between 24 years to 26 years of age, which was extremely hard. There was a period of acceptance, grief, really deep oppression, even not being sure if I really want to live, because this disease is progressive and can be very progressive. So, but at one point of time, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but at one point of time, I said, if they misdiagnose me, I will now show them, and I will do everything in my power to change the situation in Czechia and Slovakia so that other people don't have to suffer like me with chronic pain. So from marketing, I was a student of marketing at Charles University, I decided to switch to social marketing and started an awareness campaign. So now at 20 years of age, maybe it might not look like that, but I actually do have quite a kind of severe and progressive back pain, which I live with 24/7. And my future is uncertain. I have to take pretty strong painkillers. But the great thing is that this whole situation has made me fall in love with social marketing. I just love it. So now, just a brief, I don't want to get too much into the medical stuff, but just very briefly explain both diseases, the most common spinal deformities. And these are Sherman's disease, which is characterized by excessive rounding of the back and also premature aging of the spine. So the patients can get, they're like, I'm 28 years old and I have the spine of somebody who's of a retired age, just for an example. And then there's the second one, the most common one, idiopathic scoliosis, which you probably know in someone in your family who has the disease because it's very, very common. And basically it is a sideways curvature of the spine and the asymmetry of the left and right side of the spine. So why is this social marketing intervention necessary? At least 3% of people suffer from Sherman's kyphosis, yet early detection is very rare. Up to 90% of all patients go undiagnosed. Extreme number, really. 6% suffer approximately from idiopathic scoliosis. It's better because it's more well known, yet many still remain undiagnosed or undertreated. And in Czechoslovakia, which is just 0.2% of the world, like a 50 million population, hundreds of thousands are affected, and annual preventable costs amount to hundreds of millions of euros. So imagine if the situation changed in the whole world. So lack of awareness is not just in Czechoslovakia, it's everywhere. All around the world the situation is just as terrible, among both health professionals and the public. So I say, and I urge you, please, if you can, get involved in your own countries. We will be starting a non-profit, and the goal of it is to expand this campaign through the world. So if you can join, if you have somebody in your family, please get on board. So the campaign is consisting of two parts. The first one, health professionals. The main stakeholders here are pediatricians, orthopedists, physiotherapists, and physiatrists or rehabilitation doctors. One of the most surprising findings were that lectures and medical conferences were very effective. I've spoken at around 20 to 25 medical conferences, of all specializations in Czechia, Slovakia. It has made a huge impact. It is also a place where you can easily distribute all the diagnostic leaflets. We also partner with so many medical organizations, including Czech Pediatric Association, Slovak Orthopedic Association, and then also we used medical magazines, webinars, newsletters, and final step, we took it to the Czech Senate. We spoke at the Czech Senate and explained to the politicians who actually have a power to change something how the situation is bad. So just raising awareness is not enough. But if you couple it with public affairs, you can achieve much greater effect. And here you can see some photos from the conferences. Just a couple of them. And the second part is general public. Now you can see all some selected media outputs in different newsletters, radio, TV, and so we actually that was our main source of raising awareness. Then collecting patient testimonies. They were used as a basis for the strategy. We've collected more than 200 patient testimonies, and because then we were able to know what's exactly the problem in the system, and we could actually tailor the campaign based on that. Social media, patient groups. We first started patient groups because there's power in numbers, and website, obviously, which is now first ranked in Google. So it's very easy to find us for patients in Czechoslovakia. Actually, as part of the campaign, we developed a new exercise, the first one for Sherman's kyphosis in the world in Slovakia, and obviously we also offer individual patient assistance. So this is some campaign data. Okay, so volunteer input is more than 3,000 hours, and some people told me that I was insane to put so much hours into this campaign, and that I could have learned Spanish instead of this. But I replied, yes, I'm insane. So what's your point? The budget was just 3,000 euro. And there are two interpretations to this, and it's up to you which one you're going to pick. But the first option is that it was a highly cost-effective campaign, you know. And the second option is that I'm a really bad fundraiser. So it's really up to you, okay? So we will be reaching soon 1 million euro for like 11 to 15 million population, you know. And basically we have been covered in all mainstream media. There are more than 20 participating medical organizations. We got everyone on board except for one, and I will tell you why that one wasn't included. We gave around 25 lectures at medical conferences, you know. We distributed 25 pieces to leaflets to all relevant doctors, Czechia, Slovakia, and we received, as I said, more than 200 patient stories. The expected outcome is hundreds to thousands of additionally early diagnosed patients every year in both countries combined, and hundreds of millions of euros in annual savings in national budgets. And the specific measurement will be available at the end of the campaign, right? But right now we know that the indicators estimate that we have reached about 90% of all pediatricians and, for example, Slovak orthopedists. So the reach is really, really high. We actually received 2 awards: Award of the Charles University and the Prague Volunteering Award for the campaign. And there are 2 main objectives. First, to make Czechia and Slovakia world #1 in early diagnosis and treatment. And second, expand, based on our experience, expand the intervention globally through a non-profit all around the world. Because as I said, the problem is the same all around the world. So if you can get on board, that would be absolutely perfect. So, and now the second part, you know, takeaways, practical takeaways for all of you, wherever you actually work. So, what I really like is a synergy between Robert Greene and social marketing. I'm not sure it has been done before, but this sounds controversial. But I'm saying, use your dark side because activating your dark side based on the specific societal issue is the most powerful source of motivation. So you have to look deep into yourself and actually admit to yourself what are the bad traits, because all of us have some bad traits, you know. For example, there's a couple of examples: anger, resentment, revenge, narcissism, need for validation. And I will not lie to you, like my campaign was mostly based from the beginning. Obviously, the wish to help was a really big, huge motivator, but also the anger. And because if you misdiagnosed me, if I now have to live with progressive chronic back pain because you misdiagnosed me 8 times, I will show you that I can change the system and you cannot do this anymore. And that was really, so there are 2 options. Either you can activate some of these bad dark traits naturally, because it's a very personal issue for you, like it was in my case, or you can actually get yourself in the shoes of the target group. So, for example, I would like to do like some social marketing for palliative patients in palliative care, like terminally ill patients. So I decided to start hospice volunteering. It's extremely hard, right? But at the same time, it just brings up the right emotion. Anger, because so many people, for example, in hospice care, they're dying because of medical mistakes. Their cancer was not caught in time, and this is the greatest source of motivation. And I would say draw on Martin Luther King Jr. So it means be deeply invested inside, but calm outside, because you're just going to show the anger and the bad emotion outside, because that will kill your campaign with media, with everybody. So just keep it inside of yourself as an engine, right? So the second one, also for Robert Greene, be bold and insistent. And I say that the controlled craziness, or maybe uncontrolled craziness, I don't know. It has the best cost versus effectiveness ratio, you know. So what I suggest, first, act and apologize rather than ask and be rejected. This is the approach that will get you much further, you know. But on the other hand, you just cannot, you have to stay in the norm, because if 50% assertiveness is the norm, go 75% but not 100%, because being too pushy threatens communication. And I experienced it myself. I lost some precious media outputs because of this. So I learned my lesson. There are some examples of craziness from the campaign. First, presenting at medical conferences as a non-doctor. I spent 3 months in the library trying to learn everything about spinal deformities, because I know it would be the first thing they would criticize the doctor. So I wanted to make sure that they have nothing on me, and usually I was the only doctor at a conference. So it was really crazy, bold, but I think you need to do it if you want to be successful. I actually applied 4 times for a patronage of the Ministry of Health. Didn't give up, until it was received. And obviously, applying to World Social Marketing as an inexperienced student, that also requires some kind of a boldness or craziness, whatever you call it. So, this is what I highly recommend. The takeaway number 3 is learn people's true motivation. Doing good, because doing good isn't seen as good by everyone, even those who do good themselves. Physicians tend to be very loyal to their group, especially, and they're very conservative. So open criticism in healthcare must be avoided at all costs. It must be very sensitive. And the truth is, unfortunately, that people often put their own minor pain over the abstract suffering of others. This is just a cruel fact of evolutionary biology. It varies highly based on the subgroup. Here you can see, unfortunately we can see very well, but these are the 3 dark traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy. Obviously, pediatricians, they are at around 8. Orthopedists are around 16. So double the rate of narcissism and psychopathy. So you need to tailor your approach. This is very important. And there are some examples from the campaign. Luckily, we got almost everyone on board except of Czech orthopedists. Because they are so high up in there, they put professional prestige first, often rather than helping patients. It's just a very cruel but truthful fact. And I had to say I was experienced humiliation by different physicians. So you're a student loser, you cannot do anything, you will not tell us what you can do. I've actually received an anonymous physical threat that if they meet me on the street, that something might happen. That's a very real fact. So there are 2 last takeaways, and first, this one is a little controversial and doesn't maybe work all the time, only in specific projects, but sometimes it's just effective to use all available channels for all important audiences, provided one has enough resources and people. So basically, the great equation is quantity multiplied by simplicity. Start where you can make the most impact with the least resources, and in some cases, like in our campaign, you can come to a point where you exhaust all resources. And it's very important to use many resources because and to repeat the message as often as you can, because never underestimate how little people care. There's little sense of urgency even among doctors, because it's not them who are experiencing the pain, right? And so sometimes unified, simple messaging strategy that stands out saves costs and time, suitable even for physicians. So we made up 3 questions, 3 easy diagnostic questions for both doctors and the layperson, and a simply yellow, yellow guide that stands out among all the different leaflets. And basically, sometimes even to doctors, even at this conference, an end conference, it's just better to use simple language, because people will be interested more, will understand it more. Sometimes there's like an ego thing where at the medical conferences everybody uses like this very super sophisticated terms, and their colleagues don't understand that, and they will never admit that, right? So, and now the last takeaway: being small. Okay, being small doesn't mean less media. Just one last slide. Authenticity compensates for a lack of credibility, also prevents open criticism. If you're a patient who was misdiagnosed, it's actually very helpful. And one communicator can actually beat large organizations in terms of media because they paradoxically prefer the weak side, you know. And topic-related podcasts are actually the best. Usually, if you send a press report, there's like 3% chance of having it printed. Here, you have like 80% chance to get into any topic-related podcast. And last one, calling, meeting, or being referred to a journalist converts fast into media coverage. Just as opposed to just sending emails and being impersonal, you know. So basically, I'm very thankful that you have come here, and muchas gracias por su atención. And if you want to reach me anytime in any social media, you're more than welcome to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's so nice of you. Oh, thank you.
Really good. Well done.
Thank you.
I mentioned before you said a couple of things and ideas about community association and newsletters. Newsletter article about this. Yeah, we need to.
It's me, perfect. I'm just about to